Hey guys, first Adam here. Welcome back to my channel. Last week I released a video for my 8 mod farming guide, and today I wanted to create a follow-up for that. In that guide last week, I was making about 50 divines profit per 20 maps, and since then I've gone back through, looked at a few things, adjusted a few things to really min-max a setup. And I did find a few ways to push the profits per map even higher. In this video, I'll go over and show you exactly what I changed from the original strategy, the updated Atlas setup, the investments, cost, and the results, and whether or not the min-maxing is actually worth it or is it a break even. To farm these next 20 maps, I did continue using my Righteous Fire build. Since the last video, I've made a few improvements to make me a little bit faster at mapping, such as getting my Mage Blood and adjusting a few of my flasks for more movement speed, as well as my aura, so I just did a little bit more damage, so I can run the maps a bit faster. None of which will actually have any impact on the actual loot that drops per map. I'm just now completing the maps a little faster. Let's jump into it. To run this strategy, I have altered the scarabs slightly and added a few new things to the map and map device. So first and foremost, we are still running the escalation scarab, the scarab of corruption, but we're adding the scarab of delusion. And we'll also keep the 2 scarabs of instability. A new thing we're adding is the grasping astrolabe. This makes it so breaches in our area are going to be more effective, and this actually can add either more juice to the breach or to the map itself in ways of rarity, quantity, more hive blood, things of that nature. And also when you complete one of these, you get to open a vault, which has a chance to drop some actually good loot. And for the map, we're making a few changes here. So we're still aiming for that 100% item quantity, but we're upping the pack size to at least 50%. The higher, the better. And we are also upping the more maps from 100% to 110%. It does make a difference. And lastly, we want to add one of the following, or both if it's a regional price, but you want either 50% more scarabs or 50% more currency. I find that this does not add a whole lot of cost to the map when you're buying these, so it's worth paying the extra few chaos to pick one of these up. If you can get one with both on it, awesome. If not, don't worry about it. Just look for 50% in one or the other. Now, I will post a link to the trade site for this exact type of map, so it'll make it easy for you guys to find them, and it will also contain all the mods that I exclude from the map that make it ultra dangerous. And for the cost to run all of these is approximately 186 chaos per map. Cost for 20 maps in this testing, I ran a full 20 maps, that is 3,720 chaos or 17.7 divines of upfront cost. Now, this seems like a lot, but it is going to be worth it. It will pay you back substantially. Now, before we get into the live demonstration of the map itself, I will go over my Atlas. So in my Atlas tree here, we'll start at the bottom here, I pick up every single map drop chance node. Each node gives 2% increased chance for maps to drop. As well as I come over here and pick up this entire hive wheel on the right side, and then I pick up shaping the mountains and also shaping the skies. Then I come up through the center here, picking up mounting modifiers. And then we'll also be taking shaping the world. And finish up this wheel, but excluding meticulous appraiser. We do not want this. This is bad. Then following the right side, we come over here, we take these 2 breach nodes, enemy at the gates, and cloud opening. Enemy at the gates just makes it so only unstable breaches can spawn in our maps, which is what we want. And cloud opening just adds additional rares and timer to our breaches, allowing us to get a little bit extra loot and a little bit more time to complete them if we need it. And then we'll also take this small ring of breach nodes here up to massing forces. This just makes it so we have more chances for multiple breaches to spawn in our maps. And then we'll come up here, take Fortified Dominance and also Violent Skirmish. This just makes breaches faster, and Fortified Dominance has a chance for hive bosses that spawn in your maps to be duplicated. The more bosses we have, the better the loot. And in this run, I am taking blue altars instead of red. Now, do you know blue altars are going to be substantially harder and a little bit slower because the mobs do not spawn in instantly. So they take 1 or 2 seconds for them to spawn in, unlike red altars. But the quantity, rarity, and chance for maps to drop percentages on blue altars are substantially higher compared to red altars. Also on blue altars, there is that very, very, very low chance that you might find the Divine Altar. For those that don't know, the Eldritch Eater of Worlds altars, there is a mod on the altar that altar minions have a chance to drop a Divine Orb. If you get that, you're going to get a substantial amount of Divine Orbs in a single map. And then we'll come over here to the right side, pick up a Fecund Colony. This just makes it so breach bosses have 50% chance to drop additional womb gifts, which is what we really, really like. Also, I like to take the Ancient's chance because we'll be selling the Ancient womb gifts that we pick up. And then we'll finish across this top here, picking up the pack size node here with additional difficult monster packs. We'll take this entire ring here for breach, just increase pack size and quantity and hive blood. And then this is very important. We want to take these 2 small nodes here because this increases our chance to find originator maps. These are the tier 16.5 maps that drop, and they sell for a lot, way more than normal 16 maps. And then also we want to come up here to this keystone, Synthesize Stability. This makes it so when we're using an Astrolabe, we don't have to do 5 different maps. We can farm the same map over and over again, and then the Astrolabe keeps being reapplied to it, increasing our loot drops for it. And then we'll finish down the side here. We'll come up here, picking up multiplying modifiers. Just makes it so our explicit modifiers on our maps are increased, further increasing our loot and drops. And then we'll also pick up through exploration, because when we will be clearing, hopefully, all the mobs in our map. We want 50 or less monsters remaining. And then this adds a random amount of wildwood wisps to the map boss, increasing the map boss drops. And you can get multiple maps, nightmare maps, and astrolabes and everything to drop from the map boss. So it's very important to take this, but this can make the map boss very, very hard. And then we'll finish off by taking these last few map modifier effect notes. So here's the entire tree in full. So if you want to pause the video to copy it, I will also post a link to this atlas tree in the description below. All right, and for the loot breakdown, I've gone ahead and put it all into a spreadsheet to make this easier for everybody. To run the strategy 20 times, I did 20 map pool. It cost roughly 3,432 chaos. This chaos value varies depending on market and the time of day, which is roughly about 16.3, 16.5 divines to run all 20 maps. For the actual loot breakdown now, let me pull this up here. And I have everything here. First, we'll start with the maps. In 20 maps, these are all the maps that I farmed. In total, I have 504 T16 8-mod maps, 27 T16.5 8-mod maps, and 30 nightmare maps. Now, I have not price checked any of these yet, so I don't know the full value, but these are the map drops that we got. Furthermore, we picked up a whole bunch of bubblegum currency and other things to sell. I'll start with the big ticket items. I had 6 raw divines to drop. 2 of these divines came from the astrolabes themselves. When you finish an astrolabe, you go into the vault, there's a high chance that you'll get a divine there. So 2 of them did come from that. Also, I had 1 bloodline scarab to drop, 3 awakening scarabs, 5 nemesis, and 1 pandemonium scarab. as well as a handful of blueprints and contracts. We got 11 high brain glands. We got 8 fortunate cards. And we had 9 synaptic rings, 8 cryonic rings, and 4 fugitive rings. And then we also had a bunch of the other organic and enthalpic rings to drop, but these are pretty much worthless, 1 to 2 C apiece. We also had 32 ancient womb gifts to drop. We had 21 lavish womb gifts to drop, and 12 mysterious womb gifts to drop. In total, I also got about 90,000 hive blood. We just earned about 4,000 hive blood from the map we just run, but 90,000 from 20 maps, or 94,000 from 21 maps. Along with all of this, I also had these 2 bases to drop. These paladin gloves with a T3 fractured chaos resistance, and a foiled one-handed sword to drop with a T1 max rolled 27% increased attack speed to drop. Both of these bases sell for about 4 to 5 divines apiece. Along with everything else, we earned a bunch of just bubblegum currency. So this is the loot that we got from 20 maps in total. I'm going to go ahead and list most of everything for sale, do the conversion, put up all my maps for sale, and let them go. For pricing, T16 maps, I always start very high. Probably going to start at about 20 chaos a piece. I'm going to sell a few of them at that price point because there's a few cherry pickers in here. Let that sit for an hour or two, and then relist them all for 15 chaos, and then 10 chaos, and then anything that doesn't sell after that, I list for 6 chaos. For the hive tree, I had a few people ask a few questions about my choices. So Righteous Fire Gear sells extremely well and is extremely easy to get through this tree. So that's why we want to take increased glove chance. And Righteous Fire builds require armor-based, which is why we reduce intellect and dexterity requirements and increase strength requirements, because armor bases are strength-based. And then we want to aim for a fractured life or fractured life regeneration rate on our gloves. So down here, we always pick up the increased chance for life modifiers. And then over here, we also pick up the fire modifiers, because getting a fractured fire resistance modifier can also sell pretty well and quickly, but not as much as life. And then we'll also take for additional birthing item here. And then solid cyst here is 33% chance for all items to be fractured. And so the best way to do this is you kind of position yourself on the side of the tree. We want to position this right here. You hold down Control, you can click this, and then you can just spam click. So I will go through and convert all these into items and then show you the loot afterwards. All right. Just finished turning in all the hive blood. I didn't have quite enough provisioning womb gifts to use up all 90k, so I did use a few of my mysterious womb gifts from my chest to get a couple extra scarabs and things of that nature. What I got. So here are all the crafting bases I got for that 90k hive blood. So I have them ordered from least to most expensive. So starting over here, we have a fractured 85 life, which is a T3. This will sell for about 60 to 80 chaos, so not that much. But over here we have a tier 2 fire resistance. This will sell for about 1 divine. And then this entire column we have fractured attack speed, again fractured attack speed, life regeneration rate, and cold resistance. So this 9% attack speed will sell for probably about 100 chaos, so that should be over here. But the rest of these, all price checked using Awaken Trade at about 2 divines apiece. So that's 8 divines right there. Then we also have a maxed rolled T1 fire resistance. This is currently the base, just the base itself is going for about 4 divines. It's been listed for a couple days, so I'll probably get about 2 to 3 divines for this. But then my 2 big winners here. I got Fractured T1 Life. This is going for about 12 divines right now for this base. I'll probably sell it for around 8 to 10 divines just to sell it quickly. And then we got a max rolled life regeneration rate. This one is the big winner here. So this base is selling for 12 to 13 divines. I'll probably sell this again for about 10 divines just for a quick sale. I'm going to list everything for sale, and then once I have the majority of everything sold, we will resume and take a look at our total profits. All right, it's been a few hours, and I have sold pretty much everything. There's just a couple things left to sell, but not much in total value left. So we'll go over my stash tab first. So before, if you remember, I had a whole bunch of stuff in here. I went ahead and converted anything that I can sell through Faustus Currency Exchange. I went ahead and did, with the exception of the minor scarabs and a few other bubblegum currency. But in total, we got a whole bunch of chaos orbs, 1,570, including the 6 raw divines, and then the rest of the bubblegum currencies, scarabs, and gem cutter prisms and things of that nature. This tab, checking on Wealthy Exile right now, is currently valued at 22 divines. We have 18 divines in raw currency and 4.3 divines in scarabs. All right, so for the bases, we only got a couple left. These are 2 lower sale ones that aren't selling very well, and then but the 2 bigger ones. Got 80 chaos on this one and 1 divine on this one, still waiting to sell. I have these severely underpriced just so that way they sell quicker. For the maps, these are the only maps I have left. I have 12, 13, 14, 15 8 mod maps left, and these are pretty much the worst of the worst. Nobody wants because they have really, really bad mods, and so I'm not too concerned about selling these. I'm looking at just, 60 chaos or 70 chaos or so here. But everything else has sold. So, to give the breakdown, we have 1, 2, 3, nearly 3.5 tabs of currency. Each of these tabs holds 2,880 chaos, and we have 3 of them. And in this tab, we have 1,039 chaos. So let me pull up a calculator here. So we have 3 tabs of chaos, so 2,880. And we have 1,039 chaos here. It gives us 9,679. And at the current rate, 9,679, that's about 45 divines. So we'll use that number for this. So we got 45 divines worth of chaos orbs, plus the 25 divines from selling bases, plus the 22 divines in our stash tab. Gives us 92 divines in total earned divines. Now, if we subtract the cost of this strategy from this, which for me at the time, filming this, I paid 16.36 divines. We have our total net profit of 75.64 divines in 20 maps. If we divide that by the 20 maps, that gives us a profit of about 3.78 divines per map. So, but that's pretty much all we have for this guide. If you guys enjoyed it, I appreciate a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.